Hey everybody, Steve G here for Chef Knives to Go with another quick look product review. And what we have this time is the Murata Super Bunka 165mm knife. So this knife has a core steel, it's 3 layers. It's got a core steel of Aogami Blue Paper Super reactive high carbon steel. Heat treat on that 63, 64 Rockwell, so it's heat treated pretty high, which means the edge retention is going to be really good, although you have to work a little bit more at the sharpening on it, but a good set of stones will cut this just fine. The construction is a soft iron reactive cladding on either side of that core steel, and they've got what's known as a blacksmith or kudauchi finish on it. And then here's kind of a sandblasted kind of blade road here going down, and there's your core steel at the edge. So this is not a semi-stainless or anything, it's an all reactive blade. You've got reactive core steel, reactive cladding, and again, you've got that KU or kudauchi finish on it. The weight and dimensions will be a little bit different from knife to knife. This particular one is 144 grams or 5.1 ounces. Handles a oak, one-piece oak handle with a burnt, what's known as a urushi finish on it. Kind of a cool look to it as it changes as they sand it down. And then this one looks like it's going to need some sealing up. I don't see a good tight seal all the way up to the tang here. Get our camera to focus. So what you'll want to do if you get a blade like this, and it's not that uncommon, is to go ahead and seal it up with something so you don't get water down in there as you clean it and use it, or anything else down in there, because it isn't a reactive blade, definitely. People use beeswax, they use silicone caulk, they'll use, I use a 2-part epoxy. Clear epoxy typically is what I do, but it's a lot of different things you can use to seal that up with, but you want to definitely seal it up to keep moisture out of there. Balance point is going to be a little bit further back because oak's a little heavy and it's not a long blade, so there's the balance point, which is right about where that choil is. If you're going to pinch grip it, it's definitely going to be a little bit handle heavy. Edge length on this one's right about 165 or 6.5 inches, and the overall length is about 308 millimeters or 12.1 inches. Spine thickness, these are fairly thick coming out of the handle. This will vary, but I got about 3.3 above the back of the blade, and then it went down to about 2.6 halfway down. So this is not a skinny spine on this. And then you've got that reverse kind of sword tip to it. So there's your corner, and you can see it's not a super skinny tip on it, but it does thin out at this grind here going down towards the tip. And they have a kind of a squared off tip. That's something they do on purpose. So there's your tip on this one. And then here is the choil shot. So it's pretty thin at the edge. This should have good food separation on it because it widens out pretty quick, and then that texture will help cut down on the food sticking, so it'll be decent on food release. Here's your beauty shot. And then this has hand engraved kanji to it. On the right side of the blade, you can feel it with your fingers, so that's hand engraved kanji there. There's your kudauchi finish, there's your blade grind, there's your edge steel. Here's the left side of the blade. It's got some embossed kanji on that side of the blade. Each one of these is going to be unique. And then they've relieved a little bit on the corners. They've done a little bit of relief on the corners of the choil into the neck, so pretty good. I'll give this a 5 out of 10. Part of the blade was not super sharp, part of it was a little sharper than others, so this one you can definitely get sharper. This was not super duper sharp out of the box. Let's see, did I do balance point? Yeah, I think I did balance point. Yep, because it's right about there at the choil. Did that. Let's look at the cutting board profile for this one. So here's your edge profile. Might not all be exactly the same, but this particular one has a pretty good flat spot towards the back. So the back half of that blade is pretty flat. It kind of rolls right into a pretty good stop there. It's a pretty hard stop, but it does roll nicely into it. Tip, not super tall or not super high on the tip there in relation to the center line. Typical for this style knife. The way they kind of squared the tip off helps a little bit, but that'll start digging in, right in there. So you could rock it over short stuff, not a problem. Definitely great for chopping towards the back half. Tip draws would be great. You can do push-pull glide cuts, things like that. Definitely chopping towards the back. So pretty versatile profile for this. So this has a lot of handmade, handcrafted character to it. It's definitely, everyone's going to be unique. So if you're looking for something with really good core steel, something, you know, you'll have to maintain it because it's all reactive, but once you get a patina on it, it'll help calm it down quite a bit. So this is the Murata Awagami Super Bunka 165mm knife from Chef Knives to Go.